afternoon everyone, welcome back to Matthew Oliver's wedding blog on Moo 5 Reasons. So today's 5 reasons is talking to you about reception etiquette. Like the other day I did ceremony etiquette. This is purely the reception part, also known as the wedding breakfast. What's the wedding breakfast? That's probably what you're thinking right now. Wedding breakfast is a traditional term for a wedding reception. The reason why it's called wedding breakfast is because it's the first meal or event after you're married. So the meaning the first meal of the day is breakfast, so this is called the wedding breakfast. That's what traditionally known as, and a lot of traditional wedding planners, event planners, venues, florists, we all still use wedding breakfast just because it's a nice term. But just in case you're confused, it is just the reception, so exactly the same. So the 5 reasons on wedding etiquette, it's not really the reasons, it's really terms of, like, you know, how our grandparents did it years ago. It's really nice to try and enter or use traditions in the reception, like for the ceremony part, but obviously we understand these days we're trying to intermingle, change it around a little bit because we've been to loads of traditional weddings, but a lot of us don't actually know the actual traditions. So I'm just going to go through a few with you because there is so much more. I don't want to bore you and go on for ages. So 5 terms really, not 5 reasons, but I'm going to give you the terms and also the reasons if you want to use them. So straight after the ceremony, after photos, guests normally go back to the ceremony or wherever you're holding your wedding. Traditionally, we used to have 2 lines, and in those 2 lines were, you know, all the guests that would be lining up. So normally, what traditionally is the bride and groom walk through them, and just obviously they talk a little bit or shake hands. That's traditionally. These days, we kind of don't use that tradition. We would normally probably do all the guests go into the reception hall, wherever you're holding reception or the wedding breakfast. All guests go in first, and then they all stand up when someone announces. Normally it would be someone important like the best man or another, you know, important guest would normally traditionally speak the people that are entering. So firstly it would be the parents, then it would be the bridesmaids, head bridesmaids, best man, flower girls, ring bearer, and then you, the couple. That's how you enter the room. Normally we might have even some music on to, like, you know, make it nice, but that's the first reason, that's the first tradition, what normally happens. These days we might have a cocktail reception beforehand, you know, drinks reception just before we enter, but you could also use those, either the 2 lines, or you can use the order of how to enter the room when you actually going in to have the meal. So you can still use them these days, and that's how you can do it. Second reason is speeches. None of us know when to use the speeches. Traditionally, speeches are after the meal. These days, we might want to have the speeches before because they're all nervous, or you might want to put them in between your serving of food. It's absolutely fine. I personally like it, like right at the very end. Everyone's eating their food. Maybe you can do it before the dessert. That's still quite nice, so it doesn't, you know, make everything too tight, but traditionally we do have it at the end. The order that we do it is always father of the bride, or if there's someone else giving you away, it would be that person standing up first, then it would be the groom, and it would be best man or whoever is representing the groom. So they're the 3, but obviously these days sometimes the bride talks, sometimes the mother of the bride talks, sometimes you know, a guest talks. You know, it's absolutely fine, but that is the tradition, just so I can get it in, you know, so you get an idea. Traditionally, fathers would say, or the person giving you away would be, like, you know, talking about the bride's life, you know, as a child, growing up, and welcoming the groom into the family. The groom will be thanking everyone for attending, maybe passing on presents to bridesmaids, best man, ushers, on the mother of the bride, mother of the groom, and the best man or whoever's representing the best man will be, you know, basically joking around about the groom's life and, you know, silly jokes. That's, you know, normally the tradition. The 3rd reason is the cutting of the cake. Cutting of the cake represents you know, the first act as a married couple, so the first thing you do together, and, you know, traditionally we have a cake, and that is normally soon after the speeches. And you don't have to have it straight after. You can wait a while, depending on how long you've got your venue or how long you want the actual reception to go on for. But traditionally, you do it together, slice the cake, and have some photos. So that's the cake cutting. Fourth reason, or fourth term, is the first dance. The first dance is traditionally, the first dance together, and it also, soon after the dance, it does bring the dancing commences. Traditionally, it used to be the waltz, funny enough. So that's what it started off as. I can't really see us doing the waltz these days, or, learning how to do it, but traditionally it is the waltz. And also traditionally, it's actually the father of the bride dances with the bride first, and then passes her over to the groom, which is the second dance. And obviously you can use different tracks for that, but it's a big, it used to be a massive thing with the waltz, because straight after that it brought everyone came onto the dance floor and started doing the waltz as well, so it was massive. So think about Downton Abbey, or the old epic TV series or films that you've seen. That's what normally how we would do it, which is quite nice. So try maybe go back in time and try and do the waltz if you can. The fifth reason, a lot of, or traditionally, bride and groom didn't stay for the party. They actually got ready in their going away gear and actually left before obviously all their friends, partied on the night away, or, relatives. So traditionally, bride and groom, soon after the first dance, they go away, get changed. In that time, the bridal party, the groom's party would, create like a car, or surprise them with a car that's like got loads of balloons and decorations on it, and then it would be like a surprise, and then people would line up in two lines again and do the confetti, throw rice for instance, and then they would go off onto their honeymoon. But before they go off on the honeymoon, the bride will actually throw her bouquet, and that will symbol the next person, or traditionally the next person, the next lady to get married. And also the groom would throw the garter, which likewise would throw them to the men, and that's the same sort of thing as the girls. So that's the 5 traditional etiquette reasons on reception etiquette, which is very similar to the ceremony, but it's obviously the reception part. Stuff I've left out is the food, the stationery, and gifts. So they're some of the important ones that I haven't left in. I was going to purely do an actual own moo 5 reasons on them. So I hope that helps and gives you an idea on wedding etiquette for the reception, and maybe you can try and use some of that for your actual wedding. It would be nice to try and think about what our great-grandmothers used to do, or grandfathers, so try and use them in there. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that helps, and I will be seeing you soonish. I am going away to Cyprus for a week for a wedding, which I'm coordinating over there. So if you need anything, please email. I'm still, going to try and get access to my emails. But I do apologise about the lack of the Moo blog. I won't be able to do it over there. I will be able to film over there, which is obviously quite a secretive project that I'm doing. So just be ready for loads of Moo when I come back. Take care, and love to you all, and happy Moo, and a happy Moo holiday to me. Bye bye bye.